We talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe Roger to go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Sam and Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to...
Welcome to another episode of Bengals and Brews. I am Dale Altman, joined by Big Savage Greg down below at the bottom, and popping his cherry for the first time on a podcast, my little brother, Davey Ray, David Altman. What's up? What's up, fellas?
The real Big Savage.
The real Big Savage. That's what is in your name.
The biggest shit talker in the comments is finally manning up, showing his face. I respect.
Yeah, I figured it's time to get on here and talk shit to Greg on live.
Yeah, so do it man to man and all that, because I was like talking shit till I saw how you look. I'm like, oh shit.
It's the closest we're gonna get to a ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You guys would be in that mud wrestling ring, or as Chop said, the watermelon wrestling.
Or whatever the hell we were talking about that one day. What was that thing?
A lot of weird shit here.
I don't even know. Yeah.
So who they
is that place where Aaron Rodgers went to, where he was thinking or something?
Oh yeah, the ayahuasca.
That's what it was.
Guys in the comments, guys. Honestly, you know that we could maybe pop on here halfway through the show if they want. Antoine got my buddy Dusty, Bengals Army, and then our buddy Matt. So good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. We'll talk a little Mixon, the three of us, little extension stuff, and then maybe get some of you guys' opinions as well in the second half of the show here. So let's jump right in. Who-day Lindsay. Mixon. The numbers came out. I believe it's 4.2 and 4.3. It's somewhere in that range. For the next 2 years, he took that much of a pay cut. So, I mean, it's a big deal. I know people are like, well, he wouldn't have got that on the open market, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but do you understand? You're in that locker room. You've worked your butt off. Same thing, all this Corey Dillon talking, like, look what he did for the franchise. Look how hard he worked when he was here. Well, you got to think that's probably how Mixon feels too, right? Yeah. Corey Dillon chose to throw his pads in the stands. Joe Mixon chose to take a pay cut and say, I want to win a fucking Super Bowl here. And I want these guys to get extended, and I want to do what I can to stay on this team because I'm a captain and I'm a leader. I mean, he literally put his money, taking less of it, where his mouth is. So I just can't have nothing but respect for Joe Mixon and the move he made. I know he's still getting paid good money. Guess what? Everyone in the NFL does. But to take a pay cut with the team you're with is a very captain, leader move that I couldn't be more impressed with. So thank you, Joe Mixon, and I hope you tear it up, and I hope you freaking dominate, and I hope you get that Super Bowl or two these next 2 years. So I'll kick it to you, David, then we'll go down to Greg on just your thoughts on Mixon first off and getting this pay cut that should open up some money.
Yeah, I think it was great for the team, great for hopefully the future and the contracts, that extensions that need to happen for the big three. I mean, it's no longer the big one with Mixon. You know what I mean? Like they drafted great over the past 2, 3, 4 years, and got to pay everybody now. I mean, that had to be done, or he had to walk, one or the other. there was no. It was either he takes the pay cut or they're going to release him. As far as what we've been told in the media, over the past this summer and even before the draft. So I mean, we knew they didn't draft his replacement. We thought, drafted him. What was Brown in the 4th round, right? I mean,
5th actually. Yeah.
5th round. So they would have taken one in the 2nd round, the 3rd round, right? If they were looking. I mean, that's what they've done in the past. You take one in the 2nd round. So I mean, we knew it was coming. Hopefully, we thought it was coming. So I think it was great for him, great for the franchise. Especially if we can sign 9 after this, it's a win-win. I mean, as long as he stays healthy, and should be good. I mean, they got to what as Greg says, they got to play us. They got to, So.
Hell yeah, Greg. What are your thoughts on Mixon?
Well,
We'll get into some of these
you,
questions. We got a couple good questions with it, but who they the dark.
All these running backs.
Get to these here in a minute.
All these running backs that started this society where they're not playing till they get paid. I felt like Joe Mixon just crossed the picket line or something and all that, with this deal. But I think this is different though, because we knew he wasn't going to get the money out there. But I'm just happy this finally got straightened out. We all knew this needed to be done, and thank Joe Mixon for doing that. Unless Kelsey Conway tweeted, this opens up. Notice she used the word plural in deal, so that hopefully that hints something could come up. But that could just mean Joe Burrow and Logan Wilson, and not the other one we're all hoping it to be. But I still have a feeling something's going to get done. But I think this just started. There was this brick wall news we're all just waiting to hear happen, and it's been there forever. And I think this Mixon restructure just totally punched a hole in the wall for all deals to come up real soon. So, Dale, all I'm going to tell you is, man, I might be taking off work the next 2 weeks for training camp and breaking.
We're going to be hitting that refresh button on our phones. I feel like a lot over the next.
Dale, if we have to do a show 1 a.m, man, I'm up, man. I might take off work for 2 weeks.
Hey, I'm not back at work yet until the school year starts. Yeah. So, hey, we got that, Greg.
What about you, Dave? You going to be taking off work for 2 weeks?
No, I'll just pay attention. I don't. Okay. I work from home. I work from home anyway, so I'll just pull it up. I'll just have Twitter up.
Plus, he's got a little girl at home, so he's up. Yeah. Like I think he texted me at 3 a.m. last night.
Yep.
I was like, "Yep, he had to get a bottle or something."
Nope, it was a little blowout in the middle of the night.
Oh, yeah,
that's how it goes. 3:30 in the morning.
Bengals and Bourbon brings his baby on the show all the time. Every time.
There we go.
So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony, I'll definitely want to get to this one, but I don't want to start with this one because it's a big part of where we're going to go with the show here. But we will talk how it affects Joe and T and Logan and DJ and just kind of give our thoughts and odds on those things. But I want to get to this one from Lindsay here. Will the court case put anything down with it, or does the court case affect that? Do we think the court case could have been like, oh yeah, maybe you should go do this? I would be lying if I said that didn't cross my mind a little bit. Mm-hmm. But he hasn't went to the court yet, and I don't see anything major coming out of that really. Like, what's he really going to get? I don't think he's going to get. I mean, worst case from the NFL, he gets a game or 2 suspension for maybe being aggressive on the road. We don't really know all the details, so I hate to speculate. But I'm saying that if that's the worst case scenario, I just think he did this because the Bengals said, "Hey, we want you here. You're a leader. Can you work with us?" Because it's the running back market. I think there was probably a very real conversation both ways. And I think Mixon chose to be the leader and captain he is and go along with what they said. That's my opinion. I don't think the court case had much to do with it. But do you guys think it did? I mean, yes, no, maybe.
Go ahead, Dave.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if anything, it would have didn't he get in some other trouble? But that was not even him, right? It was somebody else. That was a different incident.
Somebody else.
Yeah. So it's I don't think that either of those had any impact on it. I mean, I think it was they told him like I said, either you're going to take the pay cut or we're going to release you. I think it was that. I feel like it was that simple. They wanted this money for the extensions. They needed his money, and he was.
Hey, that's high praise, man. Because Kevin always says he likes Cap's beard. He likes David's beard.
But I don't think it had. I don't think either incident. I don't even know. One is not even going to court. I don't think. But I don't think that either of them has anything.
Greg, do you agree, or you got anything different? Because I want to get to this kind of goes.
Like Dave said, like I said, we don't know the whole situation, but it crossed my mind too. But I pretty much agree with you guys are saying. But we can get to this one.
Yeah, so our guy Fiji here for the podcast listeners, just for fun, if he would have said no and they cut him, What do you all think they would have done? I think it starts with Matt's comment here. For me personally, if the value would have been there in round 2, Mixon might have been gone. I'll say might have. I don't want to say would have. I think they liked Charbonnet, and Seattle scooped him up, and I was fine with that.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, I like Chase Brown to almost be as good of a prospect as Charbonnet is, and we got him in the 5th round instead of the 2nd. So getting a guy in the 5th, plus keeping Mixon, man. I know, however you feel about Mixon, 2 years ago, the man was dominant on that football field and helped get us to the Super Bowl. He was a big part of that. Let's not forget. And last year had his best receiving year. So I tweeted out the other day, man, if we can get a little bit of both worlds, where he's fully healthy and he's motivated, I think this is just going to motivate him more. And he's been out there practicing and everything. And I think the reports of his demise were greatly exaggerated, and the man's going to rise up like the Undertaker and going to be really, really good this year. I see big things for Mixon personally. But what do you guys think? Let's just say if Mixon was cut, this is obviously it's not happening. Do you think they would have been reaching out for a Zeke, a Dalvin Cook? It would have been, hey, we missed Charbonnet in the
Greg
draft.
would have liked that.
We're screwed. What do you think would have been hypothetical, just for fun, quickly?
Go ahead.
Greg, we'll start with you.
Oh, okay.
We'll start with you this time.
No. I mean, we Dale, I think I told you on the show so many times. We had all the way down to option C, pretty much. I mean, there were just so many other options we had. So I wasn't going to sweat if Mixon was going to say no. I mean, I don't mean to go against Mixon, but if he would have said no, I'm like, okay, next one in line. I would have been fine with Chase Brown, Trayvon Williams, to be quite honest with you.
Do you guys think they would have drafted two guys potentially, maybe, if they really thought they couldn't get here with Mixon?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think they could have drafted 2 guys easily. Zeke Elliott, you know how I feel about that. I would have felt about that. But, like I say, I mean, if I would, 2-Day Joe got me on the Gibbs train till Detroit surprised us all and took him.
Yeah, I couldn't believe how early he went. David, I want to ask you then, kind of with that and a little switching up, but along with it, do you think that Zeke would have really been a fit here, or that they should have brought Zeke in? Because we all know Greg's opinion. Greg's finna be out there butt-ass naked if he signed.
Yeah.
Sign my dong, Zeke.
I don't know if he would have been I think he would have been a better fit than Dalvin Cook, but I don't think that he would have fit the mold of, because he's mostly pass blocking now, right? I mean, and catching out of the backfield. Is that what Zeke has done in Dallas? I don't know. I haven't watched him since Ohio State.
His pass blocking grades were sneaky good when we looked those up. He's decent. So
it's I haven't really paid much attention to Zeke as a pro, but it's it seems to me that Mixon used to be a pass catcher and a better pass blocker than he has been in the past couple of years also. So I don't know. It's what do you what's better, pass blocking or pass catching in that regard? I don't know. I don't think that Dalvin Cook would have been the pass blocker, maybe the pass catcher. I feel like we need an extra blocker for Joe Burrow more.
Yes.
But is that going to be Brown though? I mean,
is that going to be Trayvon and Brown?
Yeah, I don't know.
They've got that in them. I think they've got it in them.
Third down is most important. You know what I mean? For that, obviously.
Dave, you brought up blocking. People forget about this in the Super Bowl. Mixon was the paid running back. How come we didn't use him near the end? Because Pirine knew how to block near the end. I mean, exactly. That's the thing. That's the thing that just drove me nuts about Mixon. The guy's 6'3", but he was so afraid to go up against a guy that he was bigger than to go block. When you had Givi Bernard, who was 5'8", would block someone 3 times this size.
Yeah, but I think if Zach had that all over to do again, which I don't want to go back that far, but I don't think Pirine would have been in that crucial situation running the ball instead of Mixon late in that game. So if he had it all over to do again, that was just one of those weird.
I think they would have tried to keep Pirine though. Going back to the original question, I feel like they would have more. I mean, I know he got paid, but if they thought they were going to lose Mixon, wouldn't they have just gave that money to Pirine?
Ponied up even more.
Yeah, and then just had a 3-headed monster then with Trayvon and Brown and him. I understand neither of them's as good a runner as Mixon, so you know what I mean, stats wise. But in this offense, I think it would have worked. I mean, but at that point, how much money are you paying to Mixon that doesn't no longer plays for you plus Pirine? If they're your running back one, so
Fiji had a couple follow-ups. He's like, do you guys think, not this one, but the other one says, do you think they would have been okay they had the okay for Mixon before. I don't think they had the okay, but I think they felt good about it, which then goes into, if they didn't have feeling good about it, then maybe it would have been business as usual. But I do think it goes along with this of, did they have the okay? Maybe not a full okay, because no one wants to be like, I'm gonna give you all my leverage right away and say I'll take $4 million less.
Yeah.
That's it took this long for a reason. But ultimately the Bengals knew the way the running back market is going, and was going with the restructures with the Green Bay guy. Shit, what's his name?
Aaron Jones.
Yes, Aaron Jones. Thank you. Guys like that were having to restructure because they were getting paid too much, And then as time went on, Dalvin Cook got released. He's still out there, and he's wanting a mega super contract too. Is why I don't think he would have been a fit here. But I'm just happy it worked out the way it did. We have more money for the extensions that we're going to talk about, and Mixon gets to stay here and hopefully win a Super Bowl ring. And he's gonna didn't they say I think Goodberry, when he was on the show last night, I tried to clip some stuff up and watch it back some. I think he was saying he's 1,019 yards, somewhere in that area, away from being second all-time leading rusher for Bengals history. He could reach that this year. I mean, by having a solid season, especially 17-game season.
I wonder what his all-purpose yards are. I know it's not that much, but I wonder what, in comparison.
But I mean, we're just talking about a guy who's moving up the ranks, with everything. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what he can do this year.
I'm just excited he got taken care of. Like I said, what I just don't understand is we had a really decent offensive line last year. Couldn't do it. If it wasn't for that Carolina game, he would have never really had that great of a season. But the season before, we had possibly the worst offensive line in franchise history, and he managed to be a top 5 running back, I think. That's what I just couldn't understand at all.
Yeah. Yeah, and we, that's another thing. And I'm not trying to shit on Corey Dillon. Corey Dillon, best running back we've had as a Bengal. I'm not going to dispute that. It's a fact. But, we're saying he ran behind some bad lines. What the hell's Joe Mixon been running behind these last 4 years, 5 years, 6? We haven't. That's been our big weakness, right? What is he going to do behind this line? Do you guys when you think of it that way, it's holy shit, man, this man just might ball out better than ever. And yes, we're a more passing team, so that's part of it. But maybe he has close to 1,000 receiving yards this year.
Hey.
And 1,000 freaking
there we go
rushing yards, and it's chef's kiss along with everything else with this team. And then we're talking Joe Burrow's the MVP. We're talking maybe we're the first seed. Just that little bit of things that could change with the better O-line. What are you guys' expectations or thoughts or whatever for Mixon this season? I'll start with Dave and then kick it to Greg, and I'm going to send out a link to Antoine here so you don't get mad at me.
Yeah, I'm hoping for 1,200 all-purpose yards regardless. I mean, that seems manageable for Mixon, but it kind of depends on if Brown comes around and what happens if he just kills it in training camp and he starts getting more carries. He gets all the third down yards, carries and snaps. I mean, I don't think 1,000 and 1,000 would be astronomical. That'd be amazing, but it's I don't know if that's possible. As how old is Mixon now? I mean, he's older for a running back.
He's just turned 27 in July. I looked this
because he got drafted younger. He got drafted at 20. Okay, that's okay. So yeah, I mean, I think that 1,300 all-purpose yards, I'd be happy with. But I mean, if like you said, if he gets 2,000 all-purpose yards, we have to be going to Super Bowl.
What? What if?
I mean, there's
right.
But realistically, I think that Brown is going to be very good. I think he's going to be. He has some miles on him, so obviously he's not going to be running back 1. I don't think. Yeah. But he has more miles on him than most rookies have. But I think he's going to be very good. If they can both have, let's say a 2,000 together between the 3 of them, that's more likely, I would say. But just Mixon only, I'd say 1,200, 1,300 all purpose. Whether that's 1,000 and 200 or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds about right. Like I said, I'm trying to think here. Theoretically, like I said, we're going to be more of a pass-first team, and like you said, we're going to get Brown more involved. I think all-purpose yards, I'm trying to think this in my head. I'm honestly going to say 800 or 900 yards total for Mixon, rushing, receiving yards. If he can get me 400, I think, Dave, you kind of put the nail on the head. If 1,200, that sounds realistically right, because it's not that I don't have any confidence in him to get 1,000. It's just that we're going to be more of a pass.
Haters.
What?
Haters.
Oh, my God.
You guys are being haters.
No. I'm just speaking fast.
And I'm not being victim of the moment. And
hey, that's a $4 million. That's how much a $4 million running back should be. That's how many yards he should be getting.
Really, I'm just thinking realistically here, man. Everybody's going to want the ball, buddy. I'm just saying you've got 3 number one.
He's an $8 million running back, David. He took a $4 million pay cut. He was a $12 million running back. He's still $8 million.
I thought it was $8 million with the incentives. I thought it was like 6 and then $2 million.
Well, this year his base salary is 5 and he can earn up to 7 this coming season. But whatever. It's whatever, David. Fuck you, David.
Dale, but realistically, man, you got 200 people wanting the ball. It's not that we don't have confident Mixon. There's just going to be many guys wanting the ball. This is a good problem to have, man.
Plus, Chuck Sizzle, he's going to get some play too. I mean, we haven't even considered him whatsoever.
And
David,
you forgot about the best receiver on the team. Oh my God,
I forgot about the Princeton.
Do it, Greg.
Yeah! Oh man.
Why is that shirt so wet? You were walking around.
I took a shower. How did you know my shirt
went on a power walk?
I could see the black darkness, either sweat or rain. Or
I was taking. Hey Dale, do I have your permission? If I see Yosevich at training camp, do I have your permission to get him on the show?
I mean, obviously you should get him on the show, number one, but number two, try not to get a fucking restraining order. Man.
Yeah. Should I be like Jack Black at Saving Silverman, how he was with Neil Diamond? No.
Do not kidnap him, Greg.
Neil, I want to party with you.
Do not kidnap Andre Yosevich, Greg. If Greg kidnaps Andre Yosevich, for the record, everyone out there, I did not ask him to do that for the show. I am no part of his kidnapping if that happens. For the record.
Yeah, but like I say, my point is you got to want the ball, man.
My audio is fine, Dave. Is yours okay? Greg?
Well, no, somebody in the comments said your audio is out.
Oh, Anthony will have to let us know. Oh, and was that yesterday, Anthony, by the way? This picture with Zach Taylor, because I seen Iceman with a very similar picture. So I didn't even know Zach Taylor's just going to be out and about, hanging out Mount Lookout Tavern. Can everybody else in the chat hear us? Can you guys hear me?
You're cutting out. Yeah, you're cutting out now.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I mean,
it was a little laggy.
I'll run a speed test and then I'll be right back. You guys talk about what extension do you think's coming? I think this is an easy one.
Yeah.
But talk about that, and I'll just make sure
obviously, Dave, I think you and I can both agree who we want the next extension to be, but I don't know if it's necessarily the one we think it's going to be.
Well, that one's been done. Oh, Five's been done.
All right, let's move on. But no.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, let's just start with Logan Wilson. Do you think he gets extended before the season starts?
I think he'll get extended after Joe. I think they have to do Joe's first to see how much money they have left over. Right. But if they don't re-sign Logan Wilson and they go into free agency like they did with Pratt, I don't think that's a good idea. We're lucky we got Pratt back, in my opinion.
Dude,
I thought he was gone 100%. I thought there was no way. Once Logan Wilson is an interception machine. I don't like.
Oh my God, man!
I understand he gets hurt a little bit. He doesn't play 17 games. That's what happens in your middle linebacker. You're the main linebacker. I don't know if he plays middle or off, whatever. But either way, I don't know how they can't re-sign him. Reader is going to be. That's the one I'm really worried about the most.
Yeah.
Other than Higgins, of course, but that one's supposedly already done. Whatever. Anyways, they have to re-sign Wilson, right? There's no way they can let him walk.
We can cross one guy off the list. Cheeto Uzi. You and I both wanted that.
Gone.
Obviously, he's gone. We drafted all these.
They've been drafting like he's been gone already.
My speed test is okay, but just keep me updated.
Yeah.
On it. if you guys hear me cutting out or one.
Yeah, everyone said they hear you. So
yeah. But no, like I said, we all want T to be next. But, you know, me and Dale, I'm sure you've been listening, Dave. Me and Dale, we're just going back and forth on DJ Reader. I mean, it's not going to get done this season, but
they're not going to be able to afford him. After Quentin Williams, I understand he's older. He's going to be 30. They don't re-sign 30-year-olds anyways.
No, they don't.
He might be the exception, but they ain't going to pay him 16, 18 a year.
He's going to have to do what Mixon did a little bit, right? For Reader. Right. Are we talking Reader? Because
yes.
You know, Mixon took a little less money to stay here because he wants to be part of this team. He's still getting paid decent money, and Reader will still get paid decent. On the open market, though, like you said, he'll get an astronomical amount of money, even as I think he'll turn 29 when his deal's up at the end of the year. He's going to be turning 29, so not quite 30, but very close. So I would love to get him for a 2 year, on the open market. Sorry. On the open market, he could probably get 4 years, like $18 million per, like you're saying. Where here, I think the Bengals probably want to keep him 2 years.
14.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah.
Or, you know, somewhere
plus
in
incentives.
range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you? I mean, I'm not a millionaire, so I don't know. Of course, I would take 14. I'd take 14 million a year, 12 million a year, plus 3 million in incentives.
But another company offers you 18 per year.
Exactly.
For 4 years, and you know this
and
is the best time to earn money in your life. This is the best opportunity to earn money in your life is these next 4 years. If somebody gives you 4 years, that's the tough part for these players. I think it's the years as much as the money.
Right. But yeah.
But the Bengals don't. Obviously, the Bengals don't. They keep their players around. They don't get rid of them after 1 year or have dead cap ever. So it's like, yeah, they might pay you a little less, but 4 years pretty much guaranteed. I mean,
well, I don't think they want
fully guaranteed contracts, but
that's the thing with him turning 30. I don't think he'll get the 4 years from the Bengals. I think
you think somebody else give him 4 years, 18.
It just takes one team to do that. And I could almost see somebody doing that. It scares me. It's stupid, in my opinion, but
it'd be hard to pass up.
You do. I mean, remember how we said Whitworth was going to stay easily? And look what the Rams gave him. We thought the Rams were fools for doing that. Who got the last laugh, right?
Now, with Logan, do you guys – okay, so I know you were talking about a little. I was trying to check in on that. So kind of our thoughts on DJ are, you know, it needs to get done sooner rather than later if he hits the open market. And this is even – maybe they get a deal done right before he hits the open market, right, if he wants to stay. That's kind of where I've been at with that. But then Logan – I almost feel similar. You guys might have talked on this, so I don't want you to repeat yourselves, but I feel like if we can get a deal done with him this all season, it's the best time to do it. The linebacker market is wonky, man. It's off the rails. You had David Long, who is an all-pro, get $5.5 million per. Pratt underpaid, we thought, but he still got $8 million. But then you had the guys like Edmonds and the dude from the Ravens, Roquan Smith, get $18 and $20 million. Where does Logan fit in that spectrum is crazy.
We don't know. It's like we can't calculate. It's like number 2 to 10. We don't know where it is. We just that's the biggest mystery. We have no idea.
So what would you pay him, Dave? And do you think it gets done? I mean, you might already answered the get done part, but what's kind of your max amount for Logan per year, annual basis?
I would offer him what they offered Pratt. I mean, obviously, that would be my first offer because he does play all 3 downs, right? Over Pratt. Pratt does not play all 3 downs. At least he hasn't.
Right.
So you have to offer him at least, I mean, obviously 10 to start out with. What do you max at? 12? Like, do you pay him more than DJ Reader? Like, I don't know.
So
like, I honestly
8,
don't
right?
know. Yeah, like 8. Start at 8.
But if he counters with 12, do you give him 10? I would be fine with giving him 10, I think.
I would be comfortable with 10. Yeah, I mean, but how much guaranteed? That's what it all amounts to, right? Do you guarantee it all? Because he doesn't play like we were talking about. He doesn't play 17 games. He hasn't yet, right? So Pratt usually does play 17 games. So does that factor into how much the Bengals want to give him?
But to me, he seems like one of those guys that like a Boyd and a Hubbard, where you can get him for 4 years, $40 million, 10 per. He wants to be here. And they want him here.
What, 25 guaranteed?
Yeah.
You know, like
somewhere in that range.
I'd be comfortable with that. Absolutely. I'd sign it right now.
That's why I almost think Burrow gets done first, though, right? Because you guys kind of skipped over Burrow,
right.
I thought.
Oh, well, this isn't a debate. Now, look, I'm not going to let me ask you guys this. Would it surprise you if Burrow does not get a team-friendly deal. He gets paid what he wants to get paid. Would that surprise any of you?
With his agent, I think he's going to get right under what he wants. Like, because he has what's his agent's name? Maluga or something?
No,
like
that's T. Higgins. That's T. Higgins.
No, that's Higgins.
Oh, I thought they had the same. I thought they had the same agent. Oh, they don't.
No, I don't even know who Burrow's agent is. Like,
Okay.
I think Burrow's agent in reality, but
Yeah,
yeah,
really.
I'm sure he has an agent.
I don't know if he's going to take a team-friendly deal, though.
I don't think
I don't think he will. I don't know how he should. Maybe should he to keep everyone together?
I think he wants to keep the team. But see, the thing is, it's just so easy for us fans to say, "Oh, I would take a team-friendly deal.
Yeah.
I would do this." It's so easy for
We'd
us.
all take $250 million guaranteed. Right?
What's like Dave? You know, I was talking to Dale about this. Jesse Bates. People were criticizing Jesse Bates. Oh, he should be playing. He shouldn't be holding out. He's doing his job. The guy wants to get paid. I don't blame some of these guys for holding out. They want to get paid. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. I'm not saying I'm for that either, but you have to understand in the player's standpoint, you know? I mean,
Absolutely.
It is what it is.
But after Joe, so we'll just say Joe's going to get done, whatever. Which that's like, I wish Herbert would get done, because if Herbert's going to, which I don't even think personally Herbert deserves to come in the highest paid next, but that's probably what Herbert's wanting. And then
should he come in between Hurts and Lamar though? Either like he shouldn't even be that high. Herbert shouldn't.
No,
hasn't won a playoff game.
I'm with you, but I think that that's how it's been. Kirk Cousins at one point a few years ago was the highest paid. It's the next guy up as quarterbacks. Yeah. It's NFLPA.
Derek Carr.
It's almost how they have it working, you know. So I think Herbert gets his deal, then I think Joe signs easier. But maybe Joe's just going to say, hell, I'm tired of waiting. I just saw my guy Mixon make the sacrifice. I'm going to go ahead and sign so we can get the rest of these guys signed that we're trying to really nail down. But for me, I wonder if for him it's Higgins. But I think almost Logan would be easier to get a deal done, because once again, Mulligetta is Higgins' agent. I think that.
And we're not even talking about Boyd though either. Does Boyd ever get mentioned?
No,
coming up too. Like, is he gone for sure? He's gone. He's gone.
He's got two receivers. I mean, Chuck Sizzle is literally going to be playing the way Tyler Boyd plays.
He's going to be his replacement.
I'm sorry, it's just you
and he's been here through the thick and thin, like Mixon. Yeah, it's sad, but I think it. I agree. They
would Boyd
drafted his replacement.
Would he take a very team friendly deal though? Do you think Boyd would do that at the age of 29? Or 30 is going to be when he leaves.
It's not even about the money for me with Boyd. It's about, hey, they drafted Chuck Sizzle, and they're going to want to give him more. And Boyd is still a very good player. He's probably going to want to go out there, number one, and get paid more than he could make anywhere else. But number two, put up more stats and production and show that he's still the Tyler Boyd we all know and love on another team. It's one of those things when you're a good team, you're going to lose good play. Cheeto's the other one, right? That we're pretty much.
Yeah, we talked about it. Yeah, we said he's gone for sure. I mean, they've been drafting his replacements.
Are gone, unfortunately. Love them
both. And Hilton's going to be going eventually too.
He's got 2 years at least on his deal. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, Burrow's agent, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. It's Brian. It's Dale. Can you pronounce it? It's Ayrault. Brian Roll. CAA Sports. He's represented both Joey Bosa, Floyd, and Tannehill, Leonard Floyd. So I don't know too much about the guy.
Yeah, he's going to get
Well, Leonard Floyd had to settle for a 1 year deal this year.
Yeah,
I know that.
But Joey Bosa got God damn, he got 5 years.
It's Burrow, man. He's been a Super Bowl in the AFC Championship.
Right. I don't care who
resurrected this franchise. He's getting whatever he wants.
Right.
It's just how much will that be?
Right, exactly. I just don't know. I just don't want fans to be shocked if it's not a team-friendly deal. Like I said, I mean, we all want to live in this fantasy, but dude, it's just.
I thought Hilton had 1 year also. Sorry.
Yeah.
He has this year and the next. Tito signed a 3 year when we originally signed him. They signed the same offseason because that's when we lost William Jackson, and we got both of them for the same price or less than William Jackson's contract. So complete steal. We got Cheeto and Hilton. Hilton signed a 4 year. Cheeto signed a 3 year. So we've got him for another year, which is good because you don't want to lose and have this many guys up.
And he's your best blitzer.
Brutal. Yeah,
he's your best blitzer.
Yeah,
I mean, hands down.
But I'll tell. This is not obviously this is not this year, next year. But another Bullitt agent guy to point out is Joseph Osai, and if he balls, I mean, oof. he's going to be tough to keep if he has a good year. So that's another one to keep an eye on in the future. But like I say, I theoretically, I'm going to tell you guys, I think T's going to get done. I'm not saying that to be living. I'm not living in a fantasy. I think realistically, it's going to get done, but it has to be done before that first snap of the regular season. It has to get done. But let me point out, week before the season, Geno Atkins. I remember everybody freaking out about Geno Atkins that one year. Oh, we're going to sign Geno. We're going to sign Geno. Week before the season he signed, I called my buddy and told him off that day, saying, quit worrying. Everybody's freaking out. They don't usually get deals done until before the season or during training camp. I am so tired of everybody coming up to me saying, why isn't Burrow's deal done yet? Why isn't Burrow's deal done yet? And I just tell them to blow it up your ass pretty much because I'm tired of hearing it.
Yeah. I got a question for Greg. So do people just yell that at you when they see your car? They're like, hey, what's going on with the Bengals contracts situation?
Yeah.
Red light.
So my car gets a tad.
Got to know somebody.
My car gets a tad bit of attention at times and all that. People say, I do get asked if I'm a Bengals fan. I mean, obviously.
No, I hate the Bengals. What?
No, I just feel like putting all the stickers. No, but no, there's a family friend I know that's been a big Bengals hater. He still is, and he just says, hey, I was listening to the radio, and they're talking, why isn't Burrow been signed yet? I'm like, dude, I don't listen to anybody outside the national media. I'm just fed up with everybody outside the national media. I just don't listen to it anymore. I'm just tired of it. Like I say, everything works out. Everything will be fine.
Greg, you are the media now. You guys, this is the media now. Though.
This is the media.
So Bengals and Bruce isn't, but Big Savage Greg is.
Yeah. Well, you and Strawberry Ice, when you're on with him, you guys are the media. Cincinnati
Strawberry
media.
Ice
and big time. He was hanging out with
big
Matt
time.
Taylor. He was hanging out with Bengal Jim. Big time,
man.
I'm all around, buddy. I'm
moving
here.
On up.
I'm everywhere, man. I'm on Rally. I'm on Bruce. I'm on Strawberry Ice. I mean, I just fill in when I can and all that. So,
well, you better stay away from Ted Karras this coming Friday because
I'll kiss my ass, Dale.
Making my move this
Dale,
Friday.
I live the closest out of all of you to Little Miami, so I'll be there before. I'm going to be there reserving a table probably 3 hours before the show starts. So good luck.
Greg's already called off work.
Maybe I'll already be there, Greg. I'm already there right now. I brought my whole fucking. That's
a picture in the background.
Yeah, this is fake.
Okay, it's all fake. I'm
sitting at Little Miami Brewery right now, waiting on Ted Karras for Friday.
I've already met him twice. I've already met him a couple of times. He already knows who I am, Dale.
Good for you, Greg. He's been on my show. He likes Miller Lights. He wants to come back on my show. He basically said we were best friends without saying it.
Yeah, well, Dale, if that day that
we know what happens to all your best friends.
Oh, yeah, God, don't put that on Ted. Don't put that on me either. Shane Graham ain't got hurt. Shane Graham's been just fine.
No, I was talking about getting cut, but not getting re-signed.
Ted's got 2 years. He's got this year and next on his deal, so that can't happen. Yeah. He's not on a 1 year deal.
That day, Dale.
I did send links out to Antoine and to Dustin and everybody I said at the beginning of the show. So, and Matt. So.
That day.
You guys have the links. Just saying.
So, Dale, I can't wait till the day if I have one of your best friends with me at Midwest Barbecue or something and all that and stuff, man. That's where I'm going to shove it at your face if that ever happens. So,
what you think Ted is going to go out to eat with you?
Maybe. What if he's like, hey, Greg, hits him up, text him after a Wednesday. He's like, hey, we're going to watch some film, but first we're going to go over to Midwest Barbecue.
I'm just going to say,
Greg, like you said, you've already met him multiple times. Has that happened yet?
Hey, you got to
change numbers.
You got to take your time. You don't just act like some psycho and go up saying, hey, here's my number. Call me, man. Even though we don't know
you get him drunk.
Greg, I don't have to. Yeah, I already be getting drunk. I'll be getting them digits when Ted is nice and lubed up on Friday.
You'll say, here's my phone. Just put your number in there.
Yeah. By the way, Dave, do you know about Midwest Barbecue at all? Do you know any evidence
of it? I only know of it because of you. I've only ever,
because you never shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah.
So Parker Blake, who lives in Utah, he's like, Greg, when I come to Cincinnati, this better be good because I'm so sick and tired of you posting it every single day and all that.
So I used to live outside St. Louis, and that's what theirs looks like, St. Louis, which I thought it was. I like more wetter barbecue.
Oh, they have wet wings there.
Yeah. Well, theirs look like dry rub more.
No, they have dry rub, but they also have wet wings there too. Yeah, they have both dry rub and wet wing.
I'm gonna have to try it out.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I mean, obviously, I'm 3.5. I live in Akron now, so
Yeah, what's the big deal? In 3.5 hours, just tell your wife you're going to get some milk at the store or something, and just say you got lost.
And then never come home. That's what our dad. No, I'm just kidding.
Excuses.
What's up, Antoine?
What's up, bud?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
How you doing, bud?
Good.
Good.
You gotta meet my brother, David. Antoine.
How's it going, man?
Oh, it's your brother? This whole time I didn't. That's for real?
Yeah, that's my younger brother.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what's up, man? I know who he was. I thought he was like a random fan or something. But
we do
That's
bring
I won a contest.
We do bring
that you
randoms
come
on, Antoine.
Yeah. Some random guy he meets on the internet he doesn't even know. Yeah.
gotta have your brother on here more often, then, man.
Yes.
Put the family on here more often.
He's one too. He's got a young kid, so she's getting what is she now, David? Not quite a year.
10 months now. Yeah. So she's
okay.
less hands on as much. Before and she has a crazy sleep schedule. Like, I mean, she goes to sleep at 8:30 and wakes up at 6:30. So it's like, and then. It's just crazy. It's literally crazy. But
What
now
do you
she's
mean
starting
8:30? Like 8:30 p.m.
8:30
and wakes
at
up at 6:30 a.m.
Yes.
That's a dream for most parents.
Hey, I do
The
too.
hell you
I'm a night
bitching about?
I have to get up with her at 6:30.
Hey, yeah, I'm a night person too. I just woke up a few hours ago, so we on the same sleep schedule.
So, Antoine, you got any thoughts on everything we've been talking about? Just that you want to share with everybody. So, we'll just start with Mixon and that extension, or not extension, the pay cut. Not a restructure.
Yeah.
That was all a big deal on Twitter. I think it's whatever, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So first off, for Mixon, first I'll say the good thing first. Is like, he's been like a good guy. Like this pay cut has been great. Shows his character. If you remember from back in the days where we were losing games and had a bad offensive line. You see his interviews, he never blamed the offensive line. Like he'd always say, it's me, I got to be better. I got to find the holes. And he's been like this the whole time. And so his character, his stuff that he does, before the games with the fans, all this kind of stuff. So him taking less money really showed me. I know he's seen the writing on the wall with, Zeke out there and Cook and a couple of these other running backs getting, tagged and stuff like that. So he knew, he'll probably be sitting out there for a little bit and he might get the money he wants to get picked up eventually, but it might not be the situation. Might go to the Texans or something. You know what I mean? So, yeah, for that, I respect it. I'm glad he's staying. I know he wants to win here, but I will say I'm not a fan of giving running backs big money, the second contract. Even when it happened, I was like, I like Mixon. Don't get me wrong, but it's just. I'm the type of guy you just do those 4 years and we bring someone else in, do those 4 years.
Continuous draft a guy in the third, fourth round, almost every 2 years even.
Exactly. I mean, and then you can find running backs, late. You see our Pacheco was undrafted. You see this guy from the Texans, Pierce. He's either undrafted or really late round pick, and he started last year for him. So yeah, and I don't know if you guys remember the. So what's the Bengals podcast that Mike Hilton's like the co-host on with that girl? What's that?
It's Kelsey Conway, right?
Bengals.
Yeah.
Podcast.
So I don't know if you've seen that episode. It was an episode where they weren't talking about Mixon, but they were talking about, I think it was Barkley. But she was asking Mike Hilton. She was saying, if you were the GM, what would you do? Would you pay the running backs their second contract? Basically, he said it was a hard decision, but he was like. No, I would just, I would just
and
draft.
That's Saquon who led the
I would just draft, and then bring someone else. The same thing I was saying. I know Joe Mixon probably looking at that like, bro, what are you doing? But yeah, that's just how it is with the running backs these days. So that's my thoughts on it. But I'm glad he's staying for another year, and then hopefully Brown gets eased in there, and the next year kind of takes off. And then kind of go from there.
Hey, maybe he was telling the truth, but like you said, that's going to be kind of awkward. He's going to be like, dude, what are you doing to me here and all that. So
it's not like I don't think it's ever awkward if you're being honest,
right?
And telling the truth, like
right. No, at least I'm glad.
And it's his opinion, man. I always say this: the world could use be okay with other people's opinions.
Yeah. I just hope I just hope it doesn't cause any awkward attention.
I don't think it will be.
Okay, but like I say, no, he's speaking the truth, is what he's speaking.
Yeah. I think
like bring back
Mixon sees it too. So I mean,
right. I mean, like I say, I feel bad for Barkley, Eckler, and all these guys, who are holding out. I mean, I really do, but it's just a matter. I mean, I hate to say that, but you like you said, you just point out Pacheco was a 7th round pick. Mm-hmm. Like I said, and I was just saying, there's so many other options we could have had. I mean, I wouldn't have cried if Mixon left. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
But Mixon, like you said, he's seen it and he did what he did.
Right.
And we got to applaud him for seeing it, being, and having the balls and not a huge enough ego to accept.
Exactly.
Say, hey, I'll take this pay cut. I'll still be here. We can still roll. We can still win a Super Bowl. And I might still ball out. Like, I might ball out and be Super Bowl MVP.
I hope he does, in a way.
It could easily happen. It almost happened 2 years ago. Like, man, threw a touchdown damn pass in the Super Bowl.
And he'll probably play more hungry this year, knowing that he took a pay cut and, wanting to get more money for the next year upcoming. So he probably might be his best season coming up. We'll never know.
And if he does get back
2,000 all-purpose charges, Dell says.
I said it. Now, it might not happen, but 1,000 receiving and 1,000 rushing. Mark it down, bitches.
Dale, I love you, man, but you're limited to like me.
I might have went a little. I might have went a little on that one. But.
So, Antoine, me and Dave pretty much said around 1,200, 1,300 yards all-purpose. How many all-purpose yards do you personally think Mixon's going to get this season, receiving and rushing together?
Yeah, won't be no 2,000. What do we have last year?
I don't know. I think he had 600 receiving.
Right.
That was his best receiving year, but I don't know the rushing off the top of my head.
I'm looking it up.
I don't think he had he didn't have 1,000 yards rushing. I don't think.
I know. I'll just say a couple years ago when he had that stud season for the Super Bowl, I think his all-purpose was around 1,400. Almost 1,500.
What's 814 rushing yards and 441 receiving yards? So that's
1,200 plus.
Yeah,
1,200.
Yeah,
with Brown coming in there, I think he'll be taking some of that passing from him. Maybe a few runs here and there, but
you got to think how much Samaje took from him last year.
Right. I forgot about that. Yeah,
he got 1,200 last year with Samaje getting a huge amount of workload.
You got Travion also too. I think is going to get some carries. So
he ain't going to get what Samaje got.
Yeah, so I'd say I think he's going to have more good games this year because he only had a few. He had that real big one with versus the Panthers last year. But I'll go a little bit more though. I feel like our offensive line is going to put up, make us run a little bit more, and he'll probably take that Samaje P round a little bit. So I'll go probably about 14, 15. I'll go 15.
And if he's back to 1,500, what he was 2 years ago, that's good for this whole team.
Yeah.
And Burrow is obviously a better Burrow than he was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And if he comes in healthy, we're day one firing on all cylinders. Boys, I'm just hyped for this season overall. I am super hyped. Antoine, I don't know if we've ever asked you, David, since this is your first time on, you got to lay down your official record predictions for the regular season. I think I ended up 13-4. Like I'm feeling a good season. I'm feeling like that. We just get that number 1 seed, 13-4. So I'll start with David. I'll start with David, and I'll kick it to you. And then my dog's barking. I'll be right back.
Oh my god! So I think 14-3. If you want the number 1 seed, have at least, and we need that number 1 seed. I mean, the jungle was rocking against the Bills. Nobody's coming in there and beating the Bengals if that's the atmosphere.
No,
and we need that. That's why. I mean. If they played that game against the Chiefs at home and the atmosphere was like that against the Chiefs, like it was against the Bills before everything happened, that there's no way that we would have lost to the Chiefs. I think 14-3 has to be what you're aiming for. If you lose more than 3 games, you're not getting the number 1 seed. I don't think. If you go 13-4, you're probably not getting that, home opener, whatever, the bye, and then staying at home for the entire playoffs. I think you have to you have to win 14 games at least.
Anton?
Yeah. I actually had 14-3 as well. So yeah, I think as long as they don't slip up and have any
lose to the Browns or something.
Yeah,
like,
the Browns or the
yeah.
game versus Jets from Mike White a couple years ago. Like, as long as they don't have nothing, I know they probably have one, but like that's why I give them they probably could lose 2 games, but yeah, I think they can lose. They could go 14-3 for sure. And like I said, yeah, we're gonna need that home field advantage. It's crazy to think that Pat Mahomes has never played a road game. That's crazy on playoffs. That's crazy.
Yeah, that
playoff road
motherfucker,
game
he'll
ever.
get destroyed on a road game.
But speaking of Pat Mahomes,
Look at this. I told y'all he's big time now. Look at him.
Oh
Now
my
he's at
God.
another place
Oh, yeah.
with Faux Rock.
Oh, so that's why he's not on vacation.
yeah,
He's too
on
busy. He's not on vacation because he's too busy in
That's the
Cincinnati.
first thing I seen on my Twitter when I popped it up was him with David Fulcher after being with Coach Taylor and Bengal Jim and all them yesterday.
But so David Antoine, I want to ask you guys' opinion. It's since we were talking running backs, I want to ask about Corey Dillon. Obviously, he made some recent comments, but statistically, I think we can agree he deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. Let me ask you this: if you guys were voting, would his recent comments affect how you guys would vote for him in the Ring of Honor? Out of curiosity,
And would you have voted for him this cycle with everybody on the board?
yes.
You
Dave,
can go ahead and go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't affect me. I've seen his interview, so he kind of explained it a little bit, but
Right.
so in that sense, no, I don't hold it against him. At first, I did like before the interviews, I was like, oh, this guy's a jerk, but no, yeah, he deserves it. But like you guys were saying on the past episode, and other people have said it as well, because we're so behind, it's just what it is
The
right
older
now.
guys need to get in first.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to get. I mean, you can't go, from 90s and back to the 70s. We know, you know what I mean. So getting these older people in now, and while they're alive and be able to get to enjoy it. You know what I mean? We messed up and couldn't do Ken Riley before he passed away.
Yes.
So getting these older guys in is which is key right now. But there's no doubt that he would be in. You just got to be patient and wait his time, basically.
Is Ken Anderson in yet?
Yeah,
I don't.
yeah.
Okay,
he
so
was
he
part
did
of
get
the
in.
initial.
The
Okay,
guys that are
okay.
in so far: Munoz, Anderson, Paul Brown, Isaac Curtis,
Yeah.
Willie Anderson. I think I'm missing. I know I'm missing one more guy.
So Willie's the only younger guy right now.
Yeah,
pretty much.
he's it.
Like,
You
So,
say
like,
Ken Riley,
Ocho-
Ken Riley,
Ken Riley, yeah, duh. Yeah,
so like, should it be Ocho and Dylan? Like, I don't
Lamar
know. Like,
Parrish. The prediction I hear is Ocho and Lamar Parrish.
yeah, like I feel like it should be one young guy and one old guy, maybe. Like if that's how they're going to do it. I don't think that Corey Dillon or Ocho can go either way for me. Like whoever you want to put in first, but
Yeah.
that's fine. Like I don't hold it against him whatsoever. His comments, he was supposedly being like sarcastic, but it's like the older guys need to get in before
Yes.
they die, or,
Yeah, man,
or whatever the case may be. That's just as simple as that.
You
Yeah,
brought up
and
the name Corey Dillon,
remember-
Greg, and then Chop. It's like fucking just.
Chop-
Chop has to chime in. Chop's like,
I
what?
think Dale said it before that most of these season ticket holders, they're older people, so they're gonna
Yeah.
look towards trying to get these older people in.
Right.
Chad and Dylan's gonna get in there maybe soon, but and these ticket holders are much older, so
Yeah, well, and we're just trying to show respect and love to the guys while they're still
Yeah.
alive. Like that's the biggest thing. Like
Yeah.
I no hate against Corey Dillon because he busted his ass on the field. So on the
Yes.
field, he deserves
Right,
to be in. I just want him.
Might as
to
well put
understand-
John Kitten in then, though, if you're going to
Oh,
base it
God.
off
I just
that.
want him to
Where's Scott
understand.
Mitchell?
Like I don't
Want him to understand that we're just trying to put some of the older players in so they can get their moment while they're still here. Because we don't want that shit to happen like it happened with Ken Riley.
Yeah.
Right.
That
I
like
agree with
we that's the biggest thing to me.
Yeah, bottom line, the Ring of Honor should have started. We started in 68. The Ring of Honor should have started as early as 1990 or 95 or something. We're just so far behind. And that's just the whole thing. I think almost 6 guys. I told you, I think 6 guys should have almost get in because we're so far behind. But Dusty, you popped in the chat. I want your opinion. Recent comments by Corey Dillon. Does that affect you personally if you were voting for the Ring of Honor with comments he made, even though he's deserving statistically, but were you offended by comments he made?
Yeah, so Corey Dillon was, he was probably that dude that I started watching football with. Was
Me too.
I can remember, actually remember watching Bengals football and having somebody that you could oh, there's that dude. That's Corey Dillon, So he's got that special place in my heart where, I loved watching him play. And even though, I'm from Central Ohio where, there's Browns fans and Pittsburgh Steelers fans. You're just like, man, I'm the lone guy here, just liking this team. But man, you always had something to brag about when CD was out on the field. And I mean, he put his heart and soul into that team. I mean, they weren't doing much, and he carried them. And that's a lot to expect out of somebody to just grind and grind and grind year after year. So I definitely think he's deserving to be in. I think, you know, he could do a little better with his maybe his personality traits to be perceived differently. But that's him being him, man. I'm not going to hate on somebody for being who they are, and I don't walk in their shoes, so I don't know. You know, his perspective on things is a little different, but I do think he deserves to be in the Ring of Honor. You know, saying the thing about the fans not knowing how to vote or different things like that. I think the big thing is we have so many people that should be in. Just like you said, Greg, I thought the same thing, that we should have done like classes of 4 for like the first, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. And then we could have reduced it down because we have so many great players that deserve to be in there. And like, I know I came in a little late and you guys already said the Ken Riley stuff. But you definitely want to see those guys out there. You want to see their families and rejoice. And I mean, it's a meaningful thing. And I like getting the older guys in right now, just because the fact of, you know, their time, it's kind of, people forget, you know, I mean, you get recency bias, you have the 90s and you get new fans come in. So you forget who really laid the foundation in some of these older teams. So I definitely would like to see the older guys get in. And I think having more of them, you know, like a 4 to 5 range for a few years would be nice to see, and then cut it back and reduce it to 2 players.
Dave, I changed your name for you since
Nice.
Since Chop's here.
What up, Chop?
I mean, you guys got the big old beard. You're both wearing the glasses. Dave,
I did have a septum.
Yeah, you got the septum. You used to have the big gauged earrings. Basically, you guys are like.
I got them sewn up, luckily.
Person, but years away.
I might be your real brother instead of Dale.
Yeah, you might be my dad.
It's possible, man. Hey,
did you spend any time in Portsmouth? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, when you were younger.
You never. I don't know. My dad, he traveled all over
the place. You never know.
He used to run H Salt Fish and Chips and Church's Chicken. So maybe, I don't know. This motherfucker looked as good as me. You know, he was getting action everywhere.
Chop, you getting ready to go to work?
Yeah, I'm sitting in the fucking parking lot, eating some Dunkin' Donuts, sausage and cheese sandwich, and a coffee. Going in. I don't know. I still got 20 minutes or so.
Donuts, nice. Sausage, and cheese, huh?
No, not donuts. Just a Dunkin' Donuts sausage, egg, and cheese croissant.
Okay. Yeah.
If I eat
got
donuts,
some good food like that?
They do, yes.
So what I was going to say anyway, Dusty, you're going on about that's just Corey Dillon's personality trait, right? So you're
well,
like,
he
you're
said
okay with that.
he did say like, hey, like a lot of times he thought he was joking with that whole Paul Dehner thing. Like he's like, sometimes that's my sense of humor. Now I don't know if he's saying that because maybe it didn't go the way he thought it was gonna go on social media or something. But he did say like, hey, I was joking most of that. Like that was, I just got a kind of weird sense of humor like that people don't get. I will say he said that.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I mean, I don't, I hate the guy. I mean, everybody in here thinks I fucking hate Corey Dillon, but I don't. I think he disrespected the fans, and if that's his sense of humor, I guess whatever. I don't know his sense of humor saying, talking shit about the season ticket holders. I guess. Sorry. Late laugh, Corey Dillon. I just got the joke. Sorry. All right. Let me go back and change my vote now and put you in with Lamar Parrish instead of Chad.
Yeah, you wouldn't do that.
No. I mean, somebody said, I thought I heard somebody say a lot of season ticket holders are older, but I'll tell you what, most of the season ticket holders aren't older because that fucking place was empty until Joe Burrow came. And then now we're on a goddamn 3 or 4 year waiting list to get season tickets. So the season ticket holders, man, there's a whole bunch of them just fucking came in because of Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Logan Wilson, DJ. That's the team that's going on right now.
Now, I will say if you're somebody who's had season tickets for 40 years, your votes count that much more.
Right.
It goes on how many years you've had your tickets. That's how
Good. It should.
Yeah.
I believe it should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I think Corey Dillon should be in right now. I just think in time. I think his time's
Oh, he
due.
will.
I'm saying I think
we all agree on that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I think the older group should get in. That's why I was wanting to do more people, more players
you know what?
up front.
I agree.
One day I will write down Corey Dillon's name for the Ring of Honor. I will. Just it ain't this year, and it might not be next year. We'll just see who's on the ballot next year.
Oh, Chop, you're not getting a real ballot. You don't have to write names. It's an internet thing. Well, they
Yeah, I
say
know.
you-
I'm saying figuratively.
Oh,
Hey,
okay.
let me. On the way in, I was listening to you guys talk about T. Higgins. I wanted to say this. I said it on last night's show with the T. Higgins contract extension, whether it gets done or not. What I said last night on the show was, if you're T. Higgins, right, so what player in the NFL that has the ability to be the guy, the number one fucking guy? Your whole life you played football, you went to college, and so you want to be the fucking guy if you can. Why are we saying T. Higgins doesn't want to be the fucking guy? And he's not going to be the fucking guy in Cincinnati. That's Jamar Chase. The best T. Higgins is going to do is 1B, which isn't bad. You can win a lot of Super Bowls, man. If he stays for that, fuck, he's got a better character than everybody in the NFL. Because if you got the talent to be the fucking guy, why would you not want to go be the fucking guy? It's not even just about money, but he's still got time on his rookie contract. So what if T's like, let's just play this out and let's see how it goes next year? Because if he wins a Super Bowl this year and he gets the fucking ring, then he can go be the fucking guy on another team and still get everything he wants.
I'll start, and then we'll kick it around to David, Greg, and all the way Antoine, Dusty. I'll say maybe it's wishful thinking, but we hope it's like we've seen Mixon take this cut. We know how close Joe and Jamar are. We know how close this whole team seems to be, right? And the good character players we've built up on this roster. And he's out there doing a camp in Cincinnati during his vacation time off just a week ago. So to me, I think he wants to be here. Maybe it's wishful because once again, money talks and being the number one does talk. So it's a great question and a great point because maybe that's what he wants. But for me, it's wishful thinking that maybe he wants more than that. He wants to win Super Bowls. He wants to be part of this dynasty that we're hopefully basically built at this point on paper, at least. And to me, I think that's why he's going to stay here, be here, and hopefully sign an extension this offseason that keeps him here for a while. Plus, he's still young. He's probably got another contract in him if he signs a 4-year extension here. So that's kind of my thoughts with Higgins.
And that's what Joe Goodberry was saying last night, is it seems like teams are starting to go the path of the NBA, where different players are coming in and restructuring contracts and doing things so they can build these super teams.
Mm-hmm.
Endorsement money. If you're winning Super Bowls, endorsement money is big money. Legacy, Hall of Fame, winning Super Bowls helps that shit. But go ahead, Dave.
No, I think his deal's already done. I mean, come on, guys. Let's be honest here. His deal's been done for a long time. I mean, it's just not been announced yet, okay? But seriously, I think they might have drafted I was kidding. But I think they might have drafted his replacement with Greg's Princeton hottie, unfortunately.
You're putting me on the spot here, man. Come on, don't do that.
David, you just want to see Greg's nipples. Don't fucking lie.
Again,
he's already had it off once. But no, I honestly don't know. If he stays, that's great. I mean, I think that's best for the long term when it comes to the three-headed monster that we have currently. But I think they do that. That's what the Bengals do. They start looking at replacements early. And so they don't get in the bind where they have just Joe and Chase left over and Chuck Sizzle in 2 years or whatever. I think that what if the Princeton Hottie does become well, I don't know how to say his name, and I'm not going to butcher it like Greg does. So I just don't know why they would have drafted him if it wasn't for that potential? Like, why did they? I'm not saying a wasted pick, but what was there anybody else that they could have drafted in that spot that you would have liked? You know what I mean? I don't know. We're talking about Higgins, but it's like I think that if they're thinking he might not stay, so they're already thinking for the future, and that's the Bengals pretty much know. I feel like if somebody's going to sign or not a couple years early, in my opinion, or if they're going to be able to restructure like they did with Mixon. That we've talked about that. They thought he was going to restructure or take a pay cut, so they didn't take 2 running backs, and they took one in the fifth.
He was a 6th rounder, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's his replacement because they didn't draft in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd round.
But they still have next year's draft too. Like if they don't get Higgins, exactly. They know they go into next year's draft. I don't think draft somebody in the 1st or 2nd round.
I just think he's a project. He's definitely a project. But what if he turns into that? If that's what they think he might be, are they going to let Higgins walk for $20 million? If it's $20 million, or let him walk, and that's the replacement, are we happy with that?
I mean, Hushmanzada was a 7th round pick, to be fair, on the other side of it. So what if they see him for a year and Teasdale hasn't worked out this year, and they're like, "Oh shit, we got something here. We know we do." That's fair.
I don't know. I honestly don't. I just don't know what if he hasn't. I mean, we're waiting on Joe. Everyone's waiting on Joe. I feel like before they re-sign him. Come on, Joe. Hurry the hell so it's like that's when we'll really find out what they're going to do with Higgins and Logan and DJ Reed. I think Reader's gone. We already talked about that, but it's like I don't know. I honestly have no clue what they're going to do with Higgins. But he's already signed, so.
And they can franchise tag him another year, too.
Yeah, I think they would.
What is a franchise tag going to be at that point, though?
It's like $20 million for a receiver, isn't it?
Right.
But before they let him walk, I think they would franchise him like they did Bates, I think.
Then they could do the next franchise tag. They could have him for 2 more years, technically, right?
Yeah, I don't think.
Well, that's where it's
like exclusive or whatever it's called, like the 2nd year.
All that guaranteed money. I mean, it's one thing to do it 1 year, but 2 years in a row. But I mean, I maybe I'm living in a fantasy, Dale, but I still think it's going to get done. I mean, the interviews he's did where he's like talking about how Joe wants us all to stay here. That meant a lot to him. He's doing fantasy camps here. He's showing up. He's showing up to practices. I mean, sure doesn't look like a sign to me of someone that, is holding out for a contract or not worried about a contract. Like I said, I could be living in a fantasy, but I like I said, but Dave, you point out a good point. Like, say if one of those guys did come in and perform well, that could mean keeping DJ Reader and Cheeto if we let T walk. But I seriously think the deal will get done. I mean, with the Mixon thing getting taken care of, when Kelsey Conway tweeted yesterday, getting Mixon restructured, notice the word deals, more deals to come. So that could just mean Burrow and Wilson, but I think something will happen. That's just me.
All right, Antoine.
Oh yeah, I don't think I think he's going to stay. It's like I said, it's a little bit of a crapshoot with his agent, but he grew up a Bengals fan, and he
I forget about that a lot now that AJ's gone. He was AJ Green,
So he likes Chad, and I'm pretty sure him and Chase and him and Burrow had talks and they kind of know what the numbers, what they're looking for and stuff like that. They probably got a sense of what it takes to stay together. So I think they're gonna try their best to get it done. I don't think Yoshi Boss is his replacement, but if he does come out and is way better than what they thought, then they might think about letting T go. But as of right now, I think they're gonna find a way to get it done.
Yeah, I would like to see it get done, man. I like T. T's my guy. I think Bengals fans appreciate him a lot, and I think he feels that and it's reciprocated to him. But the 1A and 1B stuff, like Pork Chop said, like sometimes you want to be that guy and you want to move on. But we've seen what happens to some people that want to do that, and not comparing him to a Sanu or Marvin Jones or anything like that. But we've seen what happened with them. Sometimes when you got a team, you play together and you play super well, you get that chemistry that everyone preaches about. And being in that locker room and being comfortable in knowing the scheme, knowing the town, the city, the people, the fans, like I think a lot of that kind of weighs into things if you take ego out of the way. T. Higgins doesn't seem like he's got a super big ego, which I like about him. And I think most of the team, like we might be perceived as cocky or whatever, but we're a young team that's a lot of fun. And I think worst comes to worst, we franchise tag T for a year, and then we can draft his replacement, get a comp pick or whatever we do. But I think T's going to be here for 2 more years, and I really hope he is because he's probably one of my favorite players next to DJ Reader. But yeah, I think T will be here 2 more years, and I think even when Jamar was down those 4 games, like T balled out. He stepped up for us. So he's definitely shown the ability to be a number 1. But him and Jamar, just their skill assets are so different that it's hard to just the way they play ball. It's so different. But T, he can beat double coverages. We've seen him do it multiple different times. He's scored multiple different touchdowns in double coverage. And so, I mean, that's a weapon. That's a threat. The Bengals like the receivers. We like our weapons. We like our quarterbacks. I can see things getting done with the Joe Mixon, the restructure. That could have opened up a little extra money down the road. So I would like to see him stay. Like Greg said, might be wishful thinking, but definitely something I think they're trying to do. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But I think with his agent, if we can mend that bridge and get this deal done, it could help different transactions down the road, which would be very beneficial for us, I think.
Oh, yeah. Chop, got some more good shit. How was last night? You're on there with Joe Goodberry breaking the damn news.
Yeah, that was great, man. Look, if you watched last night's episode, Joe is like this the whole time. When he's not talking, he's like this. He's looking at his phone. That man he does not take a break. I don't know how he sleeps.
He's the Bengals Adam Schefter.
He's probably got a headphone in his ear while he's sleeping, and anything goes off, it alerts him, and he wakes up real quick and checks his phone. This man is non-stop Bengals and smart AF.
You got Bengals on the brain.
He does have Bengals on the brain. So, man, having him on the show was great. And then for that Mixon contract restructure or whatever the fucking term you can call it now is.
Paycut.
He literally said at the beginning of the show, we're going to hear something about Mixon in the next 48 hours. He was wrong.
It was 40 minutes in the next 40 minutes.
In the next 40 minutes, we heard about Mixon. It was like, Jesus Christ, this guy has got his finger on the pulse, man. It's not like we make any money, but if you don't subscribe to Joe Goodberry, it's only $5 a month on Twitter. For real, go there, and it's worth the $5. He knows everything. He's got a list of the top 100 Bengal players.
Yeah, I've got Houday Joe and Eric subscribed, so I don't need to. Y'all better just fucking tell me if he's got any good fucking news. Like I ain't spending my $5, and I got you motherfuckers on here to tell me.
That's right. Yes.
It's being smart.
Yeah. People forget how good T was. Like that first season he was there. On our team was bad that year, but you know, we didn't have Chase that year. But people forget how good he was. Like he was still really, really good that season, even though he was losing games.
Consistent. You know, you're getting 1,000 yards every year at least from him.
Yeah.
Also, hey, how many games did we lose last year when Jamar Chase was hurt?
One to the Browns.
None. Not a fucking game.
Oh, we didn't lose one.
When
Okay.
Jamar was out, we didn't lose not one game.
Who was he out on the Browns, or was that T out?
Well, no. T was out, but Porch, I want to point something out. We were down like 2 received both Boyd and Higgins that Browns game. And Denzel Ward, who was driving us nuts over the years. I mean, you got to remember, Chase still stepped up even when T was down too. Right. So both stepped up when each other was down.
Well, I mean, that I'll only say T because that's who we're talking about. We'll talk about Jamar next year when he's up for a contract.
Yeah, we all know how great Jamar is. Like, that's the thing.
Right.
But we were trying to give T his kudos. And the Steelers game alone, man, he dominated that game against the Steelers on the road. He was dominant.
Yes.
Yeah.
He had that touchdown against, I think it was the Chiefs. It was regular season, I think, last year where he split the double coverage, just made it look easy. just in the corner of the end zone, just easy. I don't know. I love how easy T can make things. That just shows how good he is by how just fluid and smooth he looks.
Is he the best 50-50? Like when you throw that ball up in the air when it's like 50-50 between the receiver and the defensive?
Yes.
I think he's the best 50-50 ball receiver.
Yeah. Name me somebody that's even near that level in the NFL right now.
Mike Evans, maybe, but that's all I can think
Fuck
of.
no. Name somebody else.
Calvin Johnson. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I would say AJ during that Browns game where he had four defenders on him, he's bobbling.
Bitches! These guys are not in the NFL right now.
Right. Not now, but I'm just saying that was his guy. That was his.
I mean, shit, Randy Moss. Like, you know.
Well, that was his favorite player. I'm just saying.
I know.
But nice that you would have played that year with him.
I like Darth here. Yeah, it's not 50-50.
Yeah. There you go, Darth. That makes more sense, Darth. Thank you.
When it's Higgins, it's 80-20. Dude's a beast, man. Yeah. I love my Opie's here for the long haul.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Him and his jellyfish and all that.
I mean, shit, I'll fucking send him $5. If we all send him $5, maybe that'll make up the difference in the contract if he stays. Every Bengal fan just send T $5.
How about every Bengal fan send me $5? Fuck, man.
Every Bengal fan send Dale $5 too.
I'll go jerk him off. Maybe that'll help.
Shit,
Y'all send me $5. I'll jerk him off as a win-win-win-win.
Does that consider prostitution?
No, not with me because I'll do it for free.
God damn it, Chop.
I'm going to record that shit, though, man. Put it on my TikTok.
So you guys talked about DJ Reader earlier, didn't you?
Yes.
I was listening and doing some stuff. Who do you think's more important to have? Do you think DJ Reader's more important than T? I don't know what you guys are doing.
I said you were jerking off.
No, Dusty. So we were talking about like extending contracts, like, DJ Reader, because they don't extend guys past their 30s anymore. But here's the thing. DJ Reader, we see what it's like when he misses games. It's a big difference. But we never drafted his replacement. I mean, me and Dale have been going on this back and forth. But I mean, I understand the 30 thing. But let me ask you this, Dusty. Could you see a team out there offering him a 4-year extension when he's a free agent?
Is he 28?
He's going to be 30 when he leaves. When he's a free agent.
Or when he's a free. Yeah, right now he's
20
next year, right? Or no, he's this year. This is last year, right?
Yeah, this is final year.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just think of the importance, like you said, you can see the difference when he's not on the field. So if you want to balance your offense and defense, obviously it's becoming a scoring league. So whoever puts up the most points, regardless, is going to be the winner. So how explosive is your offense? But our defenses, they've carried us in a lot of big-time games. They've came up with a lot of interceptions. The Tennessee game, we had, I think, 2 or 3 interceptions, one right off the rip. I mean, that was huge for us, especially when we get sacked 9 times, which is not going to happen. I don't imagine this year, but I think DJ, that's a tough one for me. Like, I don't know who I would choose. T's younger. He's coming into his prime. So, I mean, I would personally probably choose T, but man, I feel like it's tough. If you knew DJ could play at a high level for just another 3 years, I think, I don't know. I think it's definitely a coin flip on who is a little more important. Do you guys agree?
No, that's fair.
It's T 100% because fucking DJ Reader's old.
Yeah, but he's still the quarterback.
He's a baller. He's a baller, but he's
I know that, Board Chop. I'm not saying that, but the thing of it is, like Dusty's saying, it's a lot closer than you think, because that is the quarterback of our defense, DJ Reader is, man.
I understand that, Greg, but he's fucking old. And you got to take that into account. Who was it that just did an article that they were talking about?
It was on The Athletic. I don't know if it was when Jay was still there, but it was Jay or Paul. And they talked about once you hit 30 at his weight, there's been like 2 guys that haven't just completely fallen off a cliff for a season or 2.
Yeah, we hope
that was it, though. You get like a season or 2 otherwise.
Yeah,
every other guy fell off a fucking cliff once they were at his size, at his age, if we would give him an extension.
No, Portia, I'll still take T, but I'm just saying it's a lot closer than you think, though, buddy. It's not like it's an easy answer.
Listen, Greg, this is what I'm saying. This is why your ass should have not went to the fucking ball game last night and watched our show. You had already had all this information. God damn it. What's going to happen is they're going to let DJ Reader test the market. He's going to test the market, and he's going to find out that as badass as he is, he's still not going to be able to get some giant fucking contract.
I disagree.
Because he's almost 30 years old. So I think the Bengals are going to be able to match whatever he can
will
give.
give it to him.
Somebody will give it to him, I think.
Takes one team, as Greg says.
Yeah, it's going to be a bad team probably, but somebody will give it to him.
They're still going to let him test the market because it might not. I mean, Pratt tested the market and he came back for $7-something million, right? $8 million.
Hey, Porkchop, remember when Andrew Whitworth tested the market and we all thought he was coming back?
Yeah, I do.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Greg's getting savage right now.
Hey, buddy, I mean, we all thought it was crazy. I thought it was crazy the Rams gave him all that money. And, the
Bengals, he was also 30, like what?
He was 35, 36, but he was I know that's pretty rare to play at a high level. I understand that, but I'm just saying, I just don't want to risk repeating that. But I'm just saying, I know when we signed Geno and Dunlap in their 30s, that didn't work out. Like Portia, I understand what you're saying. T is still a big priority, but I'm just saying, man, letting DJ Reader test the market, man, you're sticking your hand in the Shark's tank there, buddy.
That Andrew Whitworth shit had to happen. It was part of the destiny of the Bengals.
No,
without
I know
Andrew
that.
Whitworth going out west, we are not where
we
we're
can't
at
do
now.
that. No, I ain't done it.
David raised his hand. Dave, what do you got to say, bud?
Well, are we talking about more important for next year or more important to sign long term? Like that's what I'm a little. So it's obviously T. Higgins, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because he's younger, he's going to be if not, just a little bit more expensive. But if we're talking about next year, is DJ Reader best? Is he number one on? Is he the best defensive player that we have? Because if that's what your opinion is, then obviously he's more important next year. But if we're talking about long term, it's definitely T. Higgins. I mean, if we can get Higgins for 4 or 5 years, and you can only get DJ Reader for 1 year before he's 30, it's obviously Higgins. I feel like. But if we're talking about just next year, it's DJ Reader, right? He controls the run game. We beat the Browns easily. He stops Chubb twice a year. DJ Reader by himself. But if we're talking about long term, it's definitely Higgins.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Really good point.
And also, we didn't draft DJ Reader's replacement. That's for sure.
No, we never did. Never did. And
also, you're agreeing they did draft Higgins.
Well, I'm saying that they got a security blanket. They sure in the fuck got a security blanket.
I just want to get Greg even more riled up.
You can't go from the fucking Ivy League to the NFL. You know what I'm saying?
By the way, David, one time I was saying Princeton receiver, but Dale mistaken me when I said prison receiver one time. Like, what are you saying, prison?
No, I didn't mistake it. We went with it, Greg.
Oh, we went with it. Yeah,
we hear everything correctly.
Just like the S and the A.
Right, I put it in the S, will you?
Put it in the ass.
That's right. Hey, and on that note, with Greg putting it in the ass, I got to go into work.
All right, Chop.
Thanks for having me on
Chop.
a minute.
Be safe.
Let me fucking rant and rave.
Yeah.
Good to meet you, Dave.
Yeah.
Everybody,
you too.
Greg, Antoine, Dusty, Dale. Love y'all. Bye.
You got it. You caught it first.
I caught it first.
That's
I put it
bullshit.
Oh wow, he's
Sorry,
so
buddy.
pissed.
Gotta be quicker.
Yeah, but no, like not only is it age, but offense runs the league. Offense runs the league. So DJ, you look at Myles Garrett and TJ Watt, without them, especially with the Browns, they ain't got nobody outside of Myles Garrett. So, he's clearly the best defensive player. But no matter how great those dudes are, no matter how great DJ is, you're still going to need score points in this league, especially going against the Chiefs. So that's why I would say T, not only just because of the age, but just because of offense runs the league. So no matter how great those players are, you're still going to have those weapons.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to hear you guys' points on it because, like I said, I was in the middle of doing some stuff and I heard you talk about it, but I was like, this is kind of interesting to me. Yeah. But Yeah, DJ. I don't. His replacement, I don't know about. There's not many people that can replace DJ Reader, so that's hard to. That's hard to
No,
find.
and
You know
that's
what
the
I mean?
biggest argument. But it becomes the age versus how much money and where you can use that money. It's not. I know me and Greg, when I brought it up, Greg, probably early in this off season,
A month ago,
shit,
Dale.
I don't even want to bring this shit up.
We didn't want to talk about Dale. You and I went at it for days. No, we didn't. Yeah, we just were debating.
I don't think there's a good answer to it.
No, there isn't.
You can't predict the future. You can't predict can he stay healthy also, because last year he missed those 6 games, and he's not been healthy. And how much can you really pay a guy to get half a year of him? Yes, he's extremely. I don't think any of us say he's not great on the field and he's a huge asset on the field. But how much are you going to get him on the field with his age, injury concerns, etc., as he keeps getting older?
Right. Hey, by the way, Dale, unfortunately, for Dave, it was good meeting you. You and my little brother have one thing in common. You both have a little. My brother just had a baby back in March, and I promise I'll come over and see my little niece and all that. So unfortunately, I got to get out of here, guys. But Dave,
you got some food. They're making some dinner. They're making some dinner.
No, well, if they have
dinner, Greg.
Who
Greg, what's for dinner?
If they happen to have dinner,
I didn't know they were making dinner or anything. But if there's dinner, I'll eat it, man. I don't want to see it get thrown out or anything. But
and we were only going to go till 7, Greg, so we weren't going to make you miss the Reds game, anyways.
No.
Yeah, that's the truth. There it is.
No, Dave. As you know, my brother's like Greg. Your niece has a strict bedtime, so that's how it is. And I got
Greg. Love you, brother.
All right, Greg.
Take care.
All right, man.
See you, Greg. Good meeting you, man.
Gotta give Greg shit before he hops off, Yeah, but you guys got anything else you want to discuss the next few minutes, or we kind of went through everything with what's the Mixon, the extensions. I'm just ready for the season.
Yeah,
get a couple more extensions done and get them back on the field. Get the boys back on the field here. The 26th is that? I think it's something like
25th, I believe, is the veterans, and then 22nd is the rookies, I believe.
So we'll be having football back before too long.
Yeah.
And that's what's like, man, the downtime is boring as hell.
But so real quick, what you guys is so this is kind of this goes on with the T possible extension and Corey Dillon and all that from the past. So, us as an organization and locker room came a long way, and a lot of players want to stay here and play for this team. We're doing things a little bit differently. But back in the day, a lot of people hated being here. Couldn't wait to get out. Tequila Spikes, and I think TJ Houshmandzadeh had said he wanted to get out, but he realized the grass wasn't always green on the other side. But Carson, all these other kind of things. So we hold a lot against Corey Dillon. He did what he did in a public manner. You know what I mean? Instead of all these other guys who didn't do it publicly. Was quietly trying to get out of here. But I know we kind of hold that against him. But I think just as far as signing, like for T and stuff like that, that's another thing that goes a long way for him coming back. Is people like being here. I heard what was that? Buffalo wide receiver Diggs was causing some stir up, playoff game in the offseason, I guess, not having no plays called for him or something like that. But you see our guys here, they don't care about they just want to win. They don't care about the numbers like that. We don't have any divas and stuff like that. So that's what I like about this team and this organization, what they're doing now.
Yeah, I think it makes a big difference, if guys want to be here. It's obviously they're going to take an extremely crazy amount of less money in less years. Yeah. But we also know the salary cap and some of these things they're fake. They're fake as fuck. You get this deal, but in reality, the deal is not the deal that's reported. It's not a 6-year, $130 million deal. It's like you strip that down to the guarantees and the this and the that and the outs that are in these contracts. And they're not getting that, So, and with the Bengals, you're mostly going to get it. And now we actually did a pay cut. It's like the first one anyone can remember.
Yeah,
just everything the organization's doing is different. And it goes both ways, right?
Yeah.
So it goes, they're doing good by the players, better by the players, but they're also doing things that protect themselves.
Yeah.
And I just think they're in a good place. The roster's in a good place. These are like, third world problems where it's like, we don't have to worry about it really.
Mm-hmm.
Like we know we're going to have a good team on the field. That team is going to ball out when we're watching them. We just get to sit back and enjoy it. We do the show. Yeah, we're going to talk about this, that, break it down. But at the end of the day, what a great time to be a Bengals fan and a Cincinnati fan.
Right.
I'm not big FC Cincy, the soccer or whatever.
No, I'm happy for him.
I'm a crew guy. I'm loyal. But, the Cincinnati Reds and what they're doing, they got to fucking get some hits tonight. That's all I know. But I'll get any thoughts on the Reds. We're an hour and a half in. Any thoughts on the Reds before we go, and then I'll bounce you guys out one at a time and do the outro. So I'll start with you, Dusty. Any thoughts on the Reds or anything, and promote Bengals Army?
Yeah, the Reds definitely loving their young, exciting team. Everyone's going crazy about them. So having that success is great. I think it's great for just the city in general. I feel like the city's like, I'm not from Cincinnati. I got a lot of friends that live in Cincinnati and stuff, but having that, just the excitement coming to the town, I think that builds for the Bengals as well. Like it's a momentum. Like the Bengals started playing good, and this shift through the community and stuff we're seeing. I'm sure there's more revenue coming through, which is great for different people and organizations. So I love to see it. I don't really get to catch a lot of Reds games just between work and moving. I
can't get them on anything.
And
get them on TV.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like being able to find them. So just seeing highlights and stuff. It's a lot of fun seeing. But yeah, I haven't got to watch really any of them other than highlights, which is unfortunate. But I'm straight for football season, man.
Bengals Army.
Oh,
check out Bengals Army.
Yep. Bengals Army. We haven't dropped a new podcast for a couple weeks. I know me and a couple of guys have training and stuff coming up, getting ready to leave for it. So getting everything ready, been pretty busy. So hopefully soon, expect one. It's probably going to be a couple weeks because, like I said, we're going to be leaving. But yeah, probably August we'll definitely start ramping things up, doing a little better. But we've had some cool guests on. We've had Dale multiple different times now. Yeah, that guy, that dude, old buddy right there.
You have one. It's called Bengals Army. Let me check it out.
Bengals Army, yeah. So we had AC from Anthony Kazenza from Orange and Black Insider Quincy Jungle. We had Mon from Bengals Pulse and Zim Hude. So all them dudes were super great. Mon, I think was the first one that jumped on. Dale was the first one to jump on, and then we had Mon, Zim, and AC. So all them dudes are super great guys. If you don't follow them, make sure you give them a listen. Bengals Pulse is pretty awesome. Cincinnati's awesome. Obviously, Bengals and Brews. So Bengals Army on Twitter and Bengals Army on YouTube. We're on Spotify as well. So if you guys would give us a listen, let us know how you like it. So appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I didn't hear about that one. I hung out with AC earlier this year.
Antoine,
I was working in California.
You got anything to promote?
Oh no, I just do my own thing. I don't got no podcast or nothing. I just kind of hop on here as a guest. But
Twitter account.
Huh?
Twitter account for everybody.
I don't tweet. I mean, I kind of look at tweets, but I don't tweet like that. But
I'm trying to help you out.
Yeah, I don't care about no followers or nothing like that. But I don't even know what my Twitter name is. But I mean, I'll be on there. I just I'll respond and be in little chats or whatever. But I hopped on the Spaces one time a couple weeks ago with Zim. That was kind of crazy. But Zim is a fool. But but no, I don't even know what it is. I'll give it to you next time. I got to figure out my Twitter name. All
right, sounds good.
Man, I got to check out. Anthony Anderson said is Bengals Army on Apple Podcast. I know Chris is working on it. He's another guy on our show. I don't know if he's done it because I don't really use Apple Music. I use Spotify a lot, but it's on Spotify, YouTube. If it's on if it's on Apple Music, I'll get back with you guys with it. I'll have to have Chris put that out on our Twitter page. So yeah.
RN_Malone Jr. That's my Twitter. Okay.
There you go. All right, guys, I'm gonna let you off. I'm gonna chat with David and end the episode, man. Thanks for hopping in with us for a little bit, guys.
Awesome.
Right,
nice meeting you, David. Nice meeting you too, man.
Yeah, nice meeting you guys. Yeah, have a good night.
Well, you were nervous, so how you feeling?
Yeah, for sure. I felt like it went good. Greg's fun, man. Thought him and Chop was gonna chop it up a little bit. Greg up with Chop.
He was getting angry. You can tell when Greg gets angry. He can't hide it in here. Like, he was angry at one point. He's like, he just gets a different tone and a different look in his face. It's funny. Like, I love Greg, but you can tell when he's mad. Like,
absolutely. I think they should extend T. I just had somebody had to have a different opinion.
Boy Rowdy,
you know what I mean?
In Clemson area.
Oh, nice. So he's a Reader fan too, hopefully. But no, I think I just had to have a different opinion. There's no way I think a 6th-round pick is going to be anywhere near what T is. But if they don't re-sign T, are they going to draft a guy in the 2nd round next year? I mean, in 2 years maybe, but next year they need we're going to draft a running back now. Is that out? You know what I mean? Like what? Because I thought it would be definitely a tackle and a running back. You know, tackle 1st round. Running back 2nd round next year in the draft. But now it's Mixon staying another year potentially.
Yeah.
Because obviously with that, I mean, that's a very friendly deal now for next year also.
I agree.
So it's like that does change things. You let T walk and draft somebody in the 2nd round now? I don't know. Yeah,
I know. That's what makes it fun, right? It's all guesses and speculation on our end because we don't have inside scoops. But
we're not Joe Goodberry.
Yeah. I hope that the deal gets done because when you start getting into the franchise tag, that's when it's like, okay, you didn't want to get there. The players hate the franchise tag, but the franchises, it's there. They got to use it.
Teams don't like it either because it's fully guaranteed.
But they have to use it. They have to because they can't just let that person walk. You know
exactly.
So I don't think anybody really loves the franchise tag. I won't be surprised if that's one of those things that goes away here in a few years when, different NFLPA and deals and new whatever money is talked about. I could see that being one of the things that goes away.
But if he gets 20, what does Chase get? Like if you give him 20 a year, does Chase get 25, 28?
And that's
30?
why as much as everybody, and that's why Chop said that 1A and 1B thing, because as much as you want to say, well, they're both number ones. Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to get the exact same contract? No.
And it's NFL. Everyone gets hurt. I mean, they do get hurt. It's a fact. So it's like, what's the limit for a wide receiver when you're paying Joe probably 45 to 55 a year?
Yeah. Yeah. And,
30? You gonna pay Chase 30?
And just start adding those totals up, right? You got your quarterback at 50 per. You've got this receiver at 30 per. You got this receiver at 25 per. What do you got left for the rest of your team? Like, at some point, like, that's the thing where
Wilson's gone for sure. Like, if that's the case, Wilson's gone for sure. There's no Reader's gone for sure. And you're drafting defense every year. You're going to have a new defense every single year. I don't think Lou's going to stick around for that. I mean, he's going to get
Lou's here now.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. It is. It's 100% tough. But hey,
great to debate.
Sometimes you just got to enjoy the year, right?
And I think we'll get, like everyone was saying, 2 more years out of Higgins at least this year and the franchise tag year. So it's like you have 2 more years with this offense, and that's probably why Mixon accepted his pay cut a little easier. I would imagine.
I said, I'm gonna come on shows when I can come on shows, brother. I know like a couple things, but like if I can do a show, I'm gonna do it. She's out doing stuff, I'm not gonna sit home with my, we went and did stuff yesterday. Like, but I'm not gonna sit in my house in my bedroom and just fucking be sad. I got time to do a show. I'm gonna get on here and do a show. You know,
Absolutely.
I don't know if I have a show Monday or not. Aurora's supposed to have a doctor's appointment, but then I think the lady's on vacation, that the actual doctor. So it's like, well,
Who are you seeing? Yeah, so it's like seeing some rando.
yeah. So I think she would just wants to cancel that. So I might have a show Monday. Like I said, we're gonna go in and just for everybody, like as this kid gets a little older, once again, she's what, 10 months, she said? I know.
10 months. And
baby.
Yep, September, a couple weeks out, or a couple days after you.
Yeah.
Or before you, sorry. A couple days before you.
Very close to my birthday.
So yeah, and don't follow me on Twitter because I don't tweet at all. But if you want to,
he may start being on this show a little more often, and it's something like when I started doing a show in general, my dream, man, freaking, I'll tell you all, like 5-6 years ago, David, you know this. It was always to try to do a show with me and my brother. Like, he's moved around the damn country.
And then life happened.
Where all you been? Just tell everybody where all you lived.
Montana for 5 years. And then right outside St. Louis, so the city was O'Fallon, Missouri, for almost 2 years. And then now we're back in Akron. Originally from Portsmouth, Lakedale, about 2 hours from everywhere.
That is on like the very opposite end of Ohio as well.
Akron. So we're about 3.5 hours away from each other. But I work from home, and so I'm able to work wherever. My wife is in the healthcare field, and she just gets, these job offers that are hard to pass up.
You're like,
so it's like we'll literally move anywhere.
You got a sugar mama, man. It's okay to just say it. Everyone, that's the dream for all us men watching this show. We all want a sugar mama.
Yeah, and
you got one. Derek's got one.
We did purchase a home though in Akron, so that is the difference. We should be sticking here for a while unless she gets something in Arizona or somewhere like that. I'm not moving. It'll be south if I move anywhere.
You don't want to live in Arizona.
I'd rather be dry than. Well, I lived in St. Louis, so that is as humid as it gets.
Arizona is like sticky, icky. Icky. Not like that. Like,
well, they do. It is legal there, so that does change things. As long as it's not Florida or Texas, I'll probably live anywhere. As long as I don't have to work as much.
For the right amount of money that she makes.
Exactly.
Yeah, Crip. So for anyone that doesn't know, I didn't make that clear. Yeah, this is my actual brother. Like, I call everyone brother. This is my actual little brother, my younger brother, David.
No, I'm not Pork Chop's son that I know of.
Yeah. Well, I changed your name back.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
But you guys do have the beards, especially the glasses on, the nose rings. I'm like, shit, maybe they are. Maybe this whole time.
Well, he's not that much older than Kim, right? So he might be.
He's he's like 52 or something. I think he said.
I think our
sisters. Look it up if that's wrong.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, you're like, well, I'm gonna be turning 38, so you're like 34.
34.
Yeah, Chop could be. So what is that? 44.
16.
Yeah, like 16. Yeah, Chop could have been. Yeah. I could see young Chop busting a nut at like 15, 16 years old, and having a kid out there. All right, so super chat here, $5 from our guy Rowdy. God, it's always about T, and I respect that.
Wow, that's a good point there.
But do you really want to have to face Jacksonville with T in a Jags uniform? Because
and Calvin Ridley, right?
Sign him. If we don't sign, well, that's the thing. They might, Calvin Ridley, but Christian Kirk, they might be like, all right, Christian Kirk, we paid you, we'll drop you. We've already paid you for 2 or 3 years. Now we want T, and then have T and Calvin Ridley with his guy from college, Trevor Lawrence, throwing him the ball again. And I mean, that team, man, they were close. They were close to being right in that.
Yeah, they were good last year.
Mix, yeah. For the AFC Championship, they were right there. So, yeah, hell no, I don't.
No, absolutely not. And with him and Calvin Ridley, I mean,
yeah.
And they have a tight end too. I can't think, but a 3-headed monster. That'd be tough. I wouldn't want to face that. And is that where Reader's going to then? I figured he'd end up back in Carolina, if anywhere. Reader.
Who?
No, I'm saying, is Reader going to end up in Jacksonville with the rest of the Clemson guys?
Jeez, maybe. Who knows? Reader is the toughest one, really, because it's his age, but he's so good and he's so important to this team. Like, that's why, like, I think if the Bengals could be like, hey, we'll get a 2-year extension done now for a reasonable amount of money, let's do it. Because he hits the open market, he's going to get more years and more money.
It's a pretty good point, though, with the whole, like, his weight and the, over 30, who's been good. There is, but
that was.
Can you find a nose tackle? What's
thinking.
Easier to find, a nose tackle or a 3-tech? Like, we might have a 3-tech, right, with Gunther or whatever.
Carter.
No, Carter. Yeah,
we're hoping Carter is the replacement. Like him and BJ's going to split for now, but he'll be
gone. DJ will be gone, or BJ will be gone after this year, right?
He signed a 3-year deal, so I think he's got this year and next. I
think
we got him for one more at least. Pretty sure. Yeah, because he signed a 3-year deal last year as a free agent. So we got him for this year and next. But yeah, I mean, they just haven't drafted anybody for that spot. That's the most surprising thing. Like, anybody to even develop. Like, they have Tupou, but he's also a veteran, also same amount of time. So, to me, I don't know. They haven't drafted anybody, but it doesn't mean that won't be their first or second round pick next year. Or they go on the veteran market, and if they can't get Reader, they get somebody else, mid-tier guy.
I agree with that last comment, though. Let's just enjoy the now for the next 2 years. This
Honestly,
year, I mean,
that's the thing, Dustin. When you really talk about this and all the guys, because when you're a good team, players are going to leave. At the end of the day, you just want to enjoy the now. So as training camp gets ramped up and the season gets started, when we lose games, you're going to see me coming on here post-game and saying, it don't matter. We're going to come back right next week and win fast because I'm going to enjoy it, just like the season last year. I wouldn't talk about the draft. I wouldn't talk about free agency. Once the season started, I can only speak for myself on this show. I'm all in with the season. I'm talking injuries. I'm talking records around the league. I'm talking that type of shit is what I want to talk. I don't want to talk about the future once the season starts. While it's all season, you're filling time. So that's why I've been talking a little more about that. But yeah, we've gone long on this one, man. Got your feet wet, man. Hopefully, whenever you're available between the kid, the wife working a lot,
absolutely,
and you want to hop in and do a show, you're always welcome. So,
sounds good. It was a good time. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a great time. I feel like I wish Greg would have got a little more savage, but that's okay. Maybe next time I can get him to. I have to talk about Home Alone or something.
Yeah, you will. Don't worry. It don't take much. You get that man going. See, he didn't work today, so it wasn't high off of the weed killer. Yeah.
Got it. No Roundup this time.
Yeah, he's not high on the Roundup. But love you all. Thanks for tuning in. Show maybe Monday. If not, we're going to do like Tuesday. It's going to be totally weird. That's what I always say. As long as you're subscribed, might have 3 shows, might have 5 shows, might have 7 shows next week. I don't know. It depends.
Might have a late night tonight. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen.
Butt naked at night and be like, shit, I'm going live.
You never know.
Just be sitting down here with no lights on.
That's the best thing about Bengals and Bruce. You might get Jeff pissing in the bushes.
Yeah. The Iceman might just be pissing all over himself and not realize that he's still recording himself. It happens. Love y'all.